Okay, so my question of the day is what does it mean to suffer? And I only want to take about 5 minutes talking about suffering and what it means. But I think to speak about suffering, you need to speak about the cycle of what suffering is. And so I guess in life, there is always going to be, as I talk about, balance. And to achieve this balance, you must have an up and a down. And so, the up being orderliness, success, and happiness, and then the down being chaos, destruction, and suffering. And so, that's, I guess, a small bit of, I guess, the cycle of suffering. But what does it mean to suffer? And I say, to suffer is not to feel, it's to it's to feel a lack of, or no, I wouldn't even say a lack of. I would say to suffer isn't to feel a lack of happiness, but it is to feel an abundance of sadness. It's it's a mechanism, or it's a way of your body saying that you are in a situation in which is so how to say it, foreign to yourself, that there is no better option but to panic and to feel sadness and to feel not annoyance, but to feel confused and clouded and unable to think, such to the point where your bodily functions feel clouded, you sweat, your heart feels foggy, your mind feels fogged. In some cases, maybe not seeing clearly. I think that is what suffering is. What true suffering is, is is the absence of clear thinking, orderliness. And I would say, to in that extent, suffering is necessary in order to achieve that sort of high. Because I mean, there's two ways in which you can live your life. You can either live your life as one straight plane, where you feel a disconnect from happiness or sadness, or you can live your life as an up and down, almost as a, think of like a standard deviation graph, but it just keeps going. So it's like going up, down, and then that's it. Just keeps going. Um, I uh, I think both ways of living life are honorable to some sense. I feel like, for example, priests probably would live a life where they don't really have much of an up, much of a down. I haven't really lived their life, and I'm sure they have their trials and tribulations. But at the end of the day, it is the devotion to God is so profound that they don't really. I don't think there's a extreme spike in what they feel as happiness, what they feel as sadness, because they follow their God, and that grants them a liberation from feeling. But at the same time, I also, acknowledge people who can live with extreme fluxes of happiness and sadness, and I think they are the ones who suffer the most. And I don't think there is a correct way to live out of those two, I guess, suffering models. However, I do think that suffering is necessary. And even to get onto that straight linear plane, you must have, you must suffer a lot. It's not something you can just decide to do and continue about it in that way. You must, you must give up all aspects of your happiness to feel it. And in some senses, an absence of happiness is an abundance of sadness, and vice versa. And I guess, you know, that is what I'd categorize as suffering. So, yeah.